This evening, I want to read a statement, given that this is the last board meeting of this school year. I stood in the courtyards of Central Elementary School on a March day in 1954. The night before it had rained and the courtyard held a pool of water. It was the first day in the 55 years I have spent associated with this district. I was a third grade student. I recall picking up a smooth stone and attempting to skip across the pond that had formed in the school's courtyard. A quick flip of the wrist and a sudden crash as a stone hit one of the classroom windows. In a few minutes, I was in the office of the principal, Mr. Valandrin. I received a scolding and my parents were notified. As dark as that day and moment may have been for a 7-year-old, it would not compare to the dark moments I have faced as a member of the Adams 14 Board of Education this year. Don't get me wrong, for the greater part of my time has been in the company of a community of warm, caring, and loving people. I have to give thanks to an Almighty God for this because He sees His children as the most precious of His creation, despite the fact that some see them as nothing more than a paycheck, or in some cases, a part of the ignorant masses requiring the intellectual ability of a lofty few to save them from themselves. I participated on June the 13th of this year in the 10th annual Derby Daze event, despite the effort of 3 members of this board to stop me from that attempt. To set the record straight, I did not ask to be at Derby Daze as a representative of the Board of Education, although I hold a duly elected seat on this board, but because I refuse to yield to the dictates of the board's chair. I am just a part of the ignorant masses, as she has noted to some citizens, just a citizen. Well, that's fine with me, for I have never seen myself as any more than one of the invisible people. Yes, just another face in the crowd. My desire to represent the district, not the board, was an attempt to help build some of the bridges that Mrs. Lewis has destroyed this past year. I spent 2 years in the steering committee for what was initially called the Immigration Integration Grant Application Process. It was later given a sub-designation of one community because it was a vision of this community that we would come together with a common bond for the betterment of our town, a town that I grew up in and love, and that includes Adams 14. However, this past year, because of political animosities on the part of the chair of this board, our ties to a viable segment of this community has been diminished or torn down, and it is our children that are suffering and will continue to suffer. Let me name but a few. The Commerce City Business and Professionals Association, the Rotary Club of Commerce City, more recently the Commerce City Community Enterprise, the Hispanic and Latino members of the school district, giving the distinct impression that this district is not a Latino-friendly district. And as I discovered at Derby Daze, a large segment of the Anglo community who have graduated from this district have supported our district with their tax dollars and expressed the same feelings. Of course, none of the board members will be aware of this simply because they remain hidden behind this wall and the sound of the chair's gavel when anyone disagrees with her. In a few weeks, we will be opening the doors of a 21st century facility to prepare our students to compete in what is now called a global society. While we talk of a global society, some of the leaders of this district are terrified of moving outside of their own comfort zones. It appears as if the concept of globalism for these individuals goes no further than their 19th century shady politics and the fear of being asked the hard and honest questions by the public that they were elected to serve. If the fact be known, the chair has refused to meet or talk with me since earlier in this year, simply because I refuse to support her constant demeaning of individuals who come before this board. And for that reason, since Martin Luther King's birthday of last year, she has not spoken to me. That's fine with me as far as I'm concerned. I made an effort to set up a meeting with the chair both face to face and on the telephone and received no response from her. In fact, the only effort made to contact me was to get me to sign off on an article that was presented to the newspaper chastising the parents of this community for their actions at the Hanson School. A situation that I believe I could have provided a partial solution and avoided the effect it had on our district. She refused to speak to me because I would not support the lie she told that it would have cost this district $100,000 to implement the search for a superintendent's position. I have all the RFPs submitted to the district. None of them came close to that figure that she stated publicly. My list can go on and on. I dare her to call my facts untrue and dare her to attempt her strong-armed methods to intimidate me or my family or friends, for I neither fear her, or what she believes her source of power is. I now propose these questions to the board members who attempted in an illegal vote to keep me from participating in Derby Daze. Mr. Clocker, Mr. Smith, Ms. Lewis, where is it in district policy and or state statute that keeps me from exercising my free right to speech in the capacity as my role as an elected official of this district, a right guaranteed under the Constitution of this nation, a Constitution that you swore to uphold under oath? Mr. Clocker, Mr. Smith, and Ms. Lewis, where is it in district policy or in state statute that keeps me from exercising my right to free assembly with the citizens of this community as a private citizen or in the capacity as an elected official of this district? A right guaranteed by the Constitution of this country, the same Constitution you swore to uphold, again under oath. Mr. Clocker, Mr. Smith, Ms. Lewis, where is it in district policy or in state statute that gives you the right to violate my civil rights as a member of the Hispanic community and my further protected rights as a veteran of the Vietnam War, a war that I served in to protect not only my rights, but your rights and the rights of your loved ones? A few weeks ago, you gave a flowery speech, Mrs. Lewis, to our young men and women in uniform who attend this district school in this district. Some of these individuals are not preparing to serve in Iraq and in Afghanistan to secure the rights of those people, while this board attempts to dismantle the rights of 5 generations of my family who have served this nation. Shame on you all. You owe me and every veteran an apology for your mockery. You have made our Constitution that you displayed in attempting to stop me from my rights as a citizen. Rights that I did not give up because I was elected by the second largest amount of votes in the 2006 election. Incidentally, Mrs. Lewis, I understand now, since you like to criticize people who start rumors, that you are claiming that I was elected simply because of your effort. Madam, you are wrong. I was elected because the people trusted me to be their voice in this community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Quintana.